Welcome to day 13 of Vlogmas. Today is Friday the 13th. I love Friday the 13th. I've never had a bad one. It's one of my favorite days. I love it when they roll around. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm a little bit tired. As I said at the end of the video for yesterday, I didn't get to bed until 1:30 this morning. That is the life of a concert goer. It's funny. I used to get home at that sort of hour, all the time when I was younger. Now that I've turned 50, I don't do it as often and it kind of wrecks me a little bit, but I had so much fun and that's all that matters. Do you love the new bee earrings? I'm taking them for a test run today. So yeah, I think they're fantastic. I love them. It's funny. I keep thinking about this collection and the fact that I have to hand paint each of these separately, and they're kind of slightly different shapes. One of them's a little fat bee and the other one's not so fat, and obviously the wings are a little bit different, and yeah, just everything's different, and each piece hand painted. And I'm like, it's going to take me a while. And then I realized that it doesn't take me as long as I thought it would to paint things, and I'm like, you know what, I'm also really enjoying it. And I don't know that I have loved making jewellery as much as I am enjoying it now. Like, I've always loved doing it, but now, I don't know. I just have this completely new feeling about just jewellery in general, and I'm really loving it. So I decided that I was coming up with my word of the year. I like to get my word of the year decided before Christmas. And the reason for that is because between Christmas and New Year, that little bit of a break, I try and do some planning. This year, I'm hoping to go to the State Library in Melbourne and sit up there. They've got this amazing library area with a big dome, and it's just beautiful. And I'm going to go up there if I can and sit. If not, I'm going to go to my local library, but I don't know that they're going to be open between Christmas and New Year. So, I'd rather go somewhere that's open, obviously. And yeah, it's just the time that I do my planning. I like to sort of get away from the house to do it because I get distracted otherwise. At the moment, my office is just a disaster area. It needs cleaning and decluttering. My studio needs cleaning up. There's just crap everywhere at the moment. So that's another thing that I need to get done. I cannot be productive if I've got clutter everywhere. So anyway, as I was saying, my word of the year. So I like to get it sorted out before Christmas so that when I'm once I've come up with it, I can sit with it and see how it feels. And that way, when I'm ready to do my planning, it's there and it's ready to go. Because if I come up with a word and then I realize that I don't particularly like it, or it's not quite what I was looking for, I have the chance to change it before I do my planning. So my word for 2025 is elevate. And I sort of came up with it because I just feel that it's a bit of a powerful choice. I think it embodies my goals for next year, just my creative vision, and it's symbolizing the move that I want to make to sort of aiming for that higher income and sort of looking at bigger things. So yeah, I went with elevate. What do you think? What do you think of the word elevate? Do you have a word for 2025? Is there something that you've come up with? Do you not do it until January? I know some people don't come up with theirs until January, and that's fine. But yeah, I like to do it before Christmas. And I know that I'm catching up with a couple of my friends / business friends next Wednesday evening, and we're going to talk about 2025. So they might ask me about my word of the year, or they will possibly come up with their own during that time, and I'll be able to waltz in there and go, mine is elevate. So elevate. It's great. Something else I wanted to talk about was last night while I was waiting for the concert to start, I was sitting in my seat and I was rereading Big Magic. Now, I have read Big Magic so many times. It is honestly one of my favorite books of all time. I think I've mentioned it before. I've got a copy. I've got it on Kindle. I've got the audio version and I've got a physical copy over here on my special bookshelf. Try not to knock everything over. So, Big Magic. Now, there was one bit that I was reading at the start. I'll have to put my glasses on my actual face. There's a section in the book that Liz calls Scary, Scary, Scary. And she says that, let me list for you some of the many ways in which you might be afraid to live a more creative life. And, you know, there's things like you're afraid you have no talent. You're afraid you'll be rejected or criticized or ridiculed or misunderstood or worst of all, ignored. And there's this huge list. And I'm looking at this list going, oh, there's just so many of those that keep cropping up. And basically, I was reading through that, and then she talks about defending your weakness and how much she sort of feared everything when she was a child. And she then talks about the fear you need and the fear you don't need. And when I was sort of coming up with that word, elevate, and I was thinking about what I wanted to do next year, I was having to process some fear because I'm like, this is a brand new collection that I'm working on. There's that whole, is it going to work? Is it going to fail? Are people going to love it? I then started worrying because suddenly my ideal customer, like my dream customer that I'd come up with for my silver earrings, is suddenly not the same person. There may be some crossover. There will be people who love my silver pieces that will also love these pieces. I'm that kind of person, but there will be a huge group of my current customers who are like, no, I don't like the big bold ones or the colorful ones. And then there'll be a bunch of new people that come in and go, well, these are the ones I want. I don't want any of that other stuff. So yeah, I started to kind of, I didn't freak out. That's probably still coming. It's probably on its way. But I really started to think about the fact that I am making some big changes, and I suppose I'm allowed to be a little bit fearful that things are not going to go the way I hoped and that sort of thing, because I almost feel like I'm starting again. It's a bit weird, but yeah, that's where we're at. There was something else that I read as well. I don't know if I can find it now, but that's right, the road trip. Now, I love the road trip and the letter that she writes to her fear. And she said, "Dearest fear, creativity and I are about to go on a road trip together. I understand you'll be joining us because you always do. I acknowledge that you believe you have an important job to do in my life and that you take your job seriously. Apparently, your job is to induce complete panic whenever I'm about to do anything interesting. And may I say, you are superb at your job. So by all means, keep doing your job if you feel you must. But I will also be doing my job on this road trip, which is to work hard and stay focused. And creativity will be doing its job, which is to remain stimulating and inspiring. There's plenty of room in this vehicle for all of us, so make yourself at home. But understand this, creativity and I are the only ones who will be making any decisions along the way. I recognize and respect that you are part of this family, and so I will never exclude you from our activities. But still, your suggestions will never be followed. You're allowed to have a seat and you're allowed to have a voice, but you are not allowed to have a vote. You're not allowed to touch the roadmaps. You're not allowed to suggest detours. you're not allowed to fiddle with the temperature. Dude, you're not even allowed to touch the radio. But above all else, my dear old familiar friend, you are absolutely forbidden to drive. And that just, I love that piece. I absolutely love that piece. Fear is just, it can be debilitating. Fear can just absolutely throw you off balance. Fear can also just stop you from even getting started. And I'm at the point now with this new collection where I'm really excited about it, and I don't want fear to stop me from enjoying the process. I don't want fear to stop me from believing that I can elevate. So yeah, I'm going to go through and I'm going to read Big Magic again. I love this book so very, very much. It really is one of my favorites. If you've never read it before, I highly recommend it, especially if you are a creative person. It's Creative Living Beyond Fear. And there are just some amazing insights in there. And there's also some really good sort of anecdotal type stories, and yeah, I love it. I think it's an amazing book. And that thing about the road trip, yeah, that I feel the same. Fear is not allowed to drive. Fear is definitely not allowed to touch the radio. Actually, no one's allowed to touch the radio other than me. Even creativity is not allowed to touch the radio, because I am worried that it will be turned off the rock station and onto something like bizarre and awful. My radio is glued to the rock station. It is on Triple M and only Triple M. So yes, fear is not driving. Fear is not touching the radio. Creativity can drive, but creativity not allowed to touch the radio either. Okay, I better go and do some work. I've got plenty to do today. I really need to get some things done. I'm almost at that point where I am paralyzing myself and going, I don't know what to do now. Like, I don't know where to put my focus. So I think what I'm going to do first is to paint these toadstools. This is the first cab off the rank. I'm going to do that. Just got, yeah, so much to do. So yeah, let me know what you think about these earrings. You know, it's funny. I'm doing these videos and I know at the moment nobody's watching them. I'm getting no views, nothing. So I'm basically just talking to myself. But I kind of feel like this Vlogmas, you know, whatever the word is, menopause brain, it's about it being a journal for me, so that I can look back on this, you know, next year, even just in 3 months' time, 6 months' time, whatever, and just see how far I've come, whether I have elevated or not. Basically, it's as much a journal for me as it is just for everybody else to see what I'm doing between now and Christmas. So if you are one of those people that has actually watched, thank you. Yeah, and if there's no one out there and I'm just talking into the void, so be it. I'm enjoying myself, and that's what matters. All right, thank you for joining me, and I will see you again tomorrow for day 14 of Vlogmas. I should hopefully have some more things done, and I will try and video my stall, because I'm putting my stall up under the carport tomorrow for a little while. Then in the afternoon, we have got some friends that are moving house. So we're going to meet up with them and take them some coffees, and then take them some dinner a bit later on. So yeah. Enjoy your day. It is gorgeous here in Melbourne. I am going to get myself some sunshine, and I'm going to actually do some work. All right. Thank you. I'll see you next time. Bye.